As the chairman said, we're opening a public hearing. This is the application before the planning board is a subdivision application, a major subdivision application in accordance with the Village of Goshen zoning code and subdivision regulations. The site is located on the south side of Old Chester Road or South Church Street. The site consists of about 12.9 acres. It's zoned R1, which is residential 1. The minimum lot size in that particular zone is 15,000 square feet. There's 18 lots proposed in this application, and the lots range from a little over 15,000 square feet to 44,000 square feet, or a little over an acre. The site as laid out is going to be, here's on the top of the page is South Street. There'll be one access point. There'll be an internal loop, and all the homes will be accessed via the internal loop. No driveway cuts will be on South Church Street or Old Chester Road. Approximately 9% or 9 acres of the site will be developed, whether it be road, dwelling, driveway, landscaping, and then the balance, about 25%, a little over 25% of the site will remain undisturbed. These green areas here represent, this green line represents the limits of disturbance. The existing vegetation outside those lines will remain. Inside those lines, the brown squares represent the house locations, driveway locations, required landscaping per code. There will be street lighting also per code. The new homes will be serviced by central sewer and central water. As part of the subdivision, we're working with the village and an adjoining project to the south of us. And what we're doing is they're actually, it's another small subdivision that will be running or extending the municipal water line up to a point to this part of the property line. We're going to extend a water line to that and actually then creating a larger loop of the entire village water system, which will actually help in terms of pressure and fire flows as part of this application. Stormwater, we have designed a stormwater system and working with the village engineer and DPW. We've looked at the areas on-site and off-site with regard to drainage. The measures that are being implemented in this plan are in accordance with the DEC standards and recommendations, or requirements, I should say. The design storm, or one-year storm, actually will be reduced. The quantity discharge will be reduced by 22% with the implementation of those drainage measures. Let's see. I think that's it.
Is that it? Stephen?
That's it.
Okay, that's great.
Actually, I should, a couple other things. One of the, in addition to this board being, you know, the planning board and the regulator of the village zoning code and subdivision regulations, this application will also be, as I said, we're extending the municipal water line, and that extension will also be subject to review by the Orange County Health Department. And then also, this will be a new sewer service or an extension of the existing municipal service, and that extension will also be required to be reviewed by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. Last month, this board issued a negative declaration under SECRA, which is the State Environmental Quality Review Act, and at that time, they then scheduled this public hearing. For those of you that walked in late, you probably got notice via mail or registered mail, but there was a bit of a glitch that the application was not publicly advertised in the local newspaper, so this public hearing will be held over another month.
So the
Mailing's been out.
Yes, my office didn't write the notice to the newspaper, but the mailings went,
The mailings
because Steve took care of it.
So
All right, Stephen,
that's it.
I'd like to open up this to the public. Are there any questions or comments from the people? Yes, can I please have your name And your address, please.
My name is Dave Serino, my address is 4 Rochester Road. I'm wondering about how far off existing property lines will these houses be placed?
Well, there's required setbacks by the code. We exceed all those setbacks. From if you look at from the edge of pavement to the first house, it's probably about 100 feet to the back of the house off of Rochester
What
Road.
about this line,
This line,
that line area?
you're probably, what equals 40, probably 50, 60 feet off the property line. And again, this is the this is the limit of clearing, so the existing vegetation along the property line will remain.
Any other questions? Now's the time, folks. Yes. Your name, sir, for the record.
Rob Quinn, 179 South Church.
Thank you.
I didn't get a chance to look at this ahead of time, I apologize. Where exactly does that road come out in relation to, say, the apartments and the cemetery? Because the view is not good there.
Right.
So
We've actually, it's part of the application package, and I should say there's 12 sheets in that application package, and on one of those sheets actually shows the site distances at the proposed location. There will be, is on the grading plan to the west, to the east of the entrance, there will be some grading of the bank that will have to be done, but there's adequate site distance. Right here is you're actually right at the crest of the hill. Right here is the top or the upper access point to the cemetery. And then the building, the apartments are right here.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Sir?
Yeah, my name's Dan Toohey. I live at 160 South Church, which is right next to where the building is going, right there. And then I'm also speaking for Dorothy Gott, who's right my next door neighbor. Right where those two houses are closest to the road, there is, just on my property line, at least 3 or 4 underground springs that come into my yard. I have a ravine maybe 50, 60 feet from the back of my property that during this spring thaw, I mean, it's almost like a constant stream coming down. And then I have 2 others from that up to the closest to the road, and then one behind it. And my yard and behind the ravine, sometimes I can't even get in there to cut the grass until like the end of June or July. And I'm just worried and concerned that when the trees start coming down and also the earth get moved and all, what is going to happen? You know, it might get water, and also Dorothy also, you know, with the underground springs there, because there were several of them that they've always been wet.
You may actually want to come up, I can show you something, what we're proposing, and again, like in my presentation, I said the design, the quantity of runoff under the design storm, which is about an average storm or an average rain, is will be reduced off, the discharge off-site will be reduced by 22%. But what we've done, because we were out there also.
Steve, can you put it sideways so we can see it too? We want to see where Mr. Quinn lives, or Mr. Tooley.
Mr. Tooley lives right here, and this guy lives right here. And what I'm going to talk about is right here on this property line.
Is that what he's speaking of as well?
That's, yes. So when we were out there, you know,
It's those 2 spaces right there.
Top 2.
Yep,
these two.
Yep.
So I'm talking about this property line right here.
yep.
Yeah, we saw the swale you put in, we saw the springs that
That's
come
been
out.
there. I've been living there 11 years.
Whoever put it there.
That was put
But you
there
can see-
many years ago.
Right, so what we're proposing, one of the improvements that we're doing is we're actually, as part of the drainage plan, is we have to, we're putting, at the entrance, let me just flip this around for a second. At the entrance, we're gonna have 2 catch basins, because what we have to do is come off the existing road at a 15% slope. We can't put water onto the road, so we actually slope away from the road with our entrance. So what that does at this location right here is it puts a low spot. So we're gonna have 2 catch basins to prevent any water going onto the road. But we have to then take that water and get it into our storm basin, which is back here. So there's gonna be a pipeline that's gonna come from those two proposed catch basins. Down here, there's gonna be a manhole, it's gonna hang a right, and this line is gonna parallel your property line. We're gonna then put a yard inlet right, and if you wanna come up and take a look at this.
Yeah, I will.
So here's your house, here's the property.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is, here's the 2 catch basins, there's gonna be a pipe. It's gonna run down here, there's a manhole there, and then it's gonna run parallel to your property. We're gonna then, along the edge of this, we're gonna build a berm, you know, about a foot, foot and a half. And then also create a swale, so all the water that currently comes this way will hit that swale, which is like a ditch. And we're gonna pick it up all along this property line and convey it to this yard inlet here. So what we're doing is basically intercepting all of the surface water that hits toward it.
Yeah, 'cause right now I have a French drain
Right.
that runs all the way back, not to, up to almost, the ravine that's back there. So you're gonna run this all the way back to the corner of my property
All the
line?
way to the corner of your property line. We'll pick this, we'll intercept this, all the water, because right now, if you see the topo of these lines, what that's telling us is all the water is actually just grazed
Yeah,
towards your house.
that's what it does, because like the ravine is right around the tree line here.
So,
And this all back here, I can't get in there even to cut grass until like July sometimes.
so what we're doing is we're gonna build a berm and put a swale and intercept that water and get it to that basin. And then in the back here, on the south side of your property line, we're gonna do the same thing. So this is gonna get drained back to the road and back to that catch basin.
Right.
So, you know, given the design, and of course, the village engineer has to review it as well, we feel pretty confident that we're gonna help you out a little bit.
And
A lot of it
all that drainage you capture ultimately goes where?
goes back to the basin around your property and around Ms. Scott's property.
And then what, and it'll gonna end up in
It's-
here, or
it's-
is
it's-
it an overflow?
No, it ends up in, there's also, one of the things I forgot to mention is that here we have some existing on-site wetlands. It's about 2.6, 2.7 acres of Army Corps wetlands regulated by the
That's
Corps.
constantly wet back there.
Right, so what we'll do is we'll discharge in there, and then eventually it goes to the discharge point or the culvert underneath South Street. So this, basically, this water is now gonna go around yours and Ms. Scott's property.
And what about, because I know there's Steeple Hill, there's a house right across the street from here.
But that goes to there's an existing drainage facility there now.
Yeah, it's the far end.
Right,
Yeah,
that's what you're talking about.
There's a box culvert that goes under the road there, I think it's about 2 by 2.
Uh-huh.
It's got a lot of silt in it and debris.
Yeah, sometimes it'll back up and that
We're
whole
gonna
thing.
clean that out.
One person talking.
Awesome.
So, we met with the DPW, and when we're out there, we're gonna clean that out as well.
Okay, like I said, my concern is they're underground springs, and I mean disrupting the earth to build the house with the footings and foundations, what is that gonna do with the underground springs? I
Are
mean,
you concerned they'll be redirected?
yeah, you know, that's my concern, because I don't want to redirect it where, into my house.
Well, with this swale is gonna be, it's a ditch, so we're actually, most of this is what we call perched water. There's a hard pan, in this particular soil, it's a Marden series soil, there's a hard pan anywhere from 18 to 24 inches down. What happens, particularly in the spring months, May, which April, May, when we get the thaws, the water perks through the upper horizon of the soil, but it hits that hard pan and creates these little springs. They typically dry up in September, in August.
Just enough time for a snow event.
So we hope that also by putting that swale in, is that we're going to intercept that perched water as well.
Okay. Because I also have, I mean, it's normal alongside the road, but this will that still where the water comes out of up here, that runs down in front of the house?
Right. Well, right now this is the right of way,
Yeah,
and there is a ditch there along the right of way.
yeah, it's a shallow.
Right. That's village land. We have no jurisdiction
No,
over
no,
that.
that's all. Like, my main concern is, like I said, there's an underground here, and then there's actually 2 here, and then the ravine is 1, and then I have another one that, like you said, the water comes that way. So you're saying that what you're gonna do will catch all of it and divert it around my property?
Yep.
And Mrs. Dot, but she has some pumps almost going 24 hours a day.
Not overflowing.
Well,
Basically.
right. We remember if she's got groundwater at 6 feet, we're not going to.
Yeah, no.
But as far as the perched water and the surface water, we think that the proposal will really address those issues.
Okay, I hope so. All right, thank you.
Can you show me on the map, because we
Sure.
haven't been able to see where the springs are?
Sure. And this is my house.
Okay,
One spring comes pretty much out to the side of my house here. There's another one that comes here. I have a French drain, I dug it, I've been there 11 years, since
yeah,
98, 99.
yeah.
I had to build it, we put a French drain in all the way. There's a ravine that was, Mrs. Gott family owned this property
Yeah.
years and years ago.
Right.
they had dug a ravine down to catch the water, because there's another, I guess like a main underground spring that comes out. Like this way through the ravine and then down into a clay pipe through Mrs. Gott's. So
But you think
it go, actually, it pretty much it goes through here, it drains into here.
and what is it?
This is just an empty wooded, lot. It's all basically swamp, but like he said, it's wetlands here. It's all swamp, it's wet year round.
He's directly behind us.
But he's saying that he's gonna, it'll catch here, go around the back of my property and into here, and then the overflow, whatever, will go into this general area.
But does the spring originate on that lot?
Yes, everything comes down, I'm lower than
During the spring.
Yeah,
During
during the elevation,
During the
yeah.
spring.
The elevation,
The spring
my
spring.
house and Mrs. Gott's, it's lower than this property. And like I said, everything comes this way, and like I said, from here back, I can't even get in there with a lawnmower to cut and stuff, and so like, hopefully, if we don't have too much this year with all the rain we have, I have no.
Maybe this will help you out.
Yeah, well, that's the way he explained it, I'm hoping, yeah.
Very good. Aren't you showing a place?
No. What we're doing right now is, first of all, the roadway is gonna have curbs, so everything's gonna stay, we're gonna collect most of the water.
That's okay.
This
We
whole
have room
thing, the whole site really goes in that direction. So what we're doing is, this is where we're putting in the berm.
Not sure where the right of way is. I
This
think
line,
part of it's on
right,
our
this
property
water,
and
surface water,
part
that
goes
goes
on
this way. To this yard. And then the same thing with the
That
water
was
drainage.
once it's got out.
Little berm here, and a swale, it'll take the water back to this one.
And
What's gonna go into the catch basin, then
When you bring
into
it back, there was safe.
So then everything gets picked, so this all gets picked up and then conveyed down to the point, and then it gets back to this basin here, and then it'll get discharged in this direction. And there's a big box hole that goes up the water, and it's
Yeah,
on
no, it's on, it's pretty much all, it goes on the.
Well, our engineer will review
So
it.
has Mr.
It's
Constantine
a village.
submitted the plan?
I mean, if you want, yeah, if he wants to come out to the house,
We've been,
and I'm sure, I know you guys are doing
Yeah.
the.
He may have been there already. Yeah.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
I don't think so.
are there any other comments? Folks, now's the time. Yes,
I have a
young lady.
question. I'm Hildegard Quinn. I live at 179 South Church Street. I have a question about clear cutting for the lots for the houses. What tree, are you
How you
planning
gonna
to?
clear the lot, clear the property?
no, I said earlier, and again,
No, you said,
it's, if you can look at it, this line right here is the limits of clearing.
How deep is that?
How deep it is.
The amount of,
Depth on
that out-
on the outside.
Well, it varies, because we've got the detention basin here. We have to install a pipeline here that's gonna, so we need to clear that area. But this area here is, between, this is, about 50 feet wide. Can you address the woman,
Yes. Show Mrs. Quinn.
What this green line represents is the limits of clearing.
yeah, I understood that when you said it before, but I wanted to know about the house lots, where the houses are gonna be. Are all the trees gonna be cut down for them?
What you see in lighter green is going to likely be cleared because of either grading requirements, drainage requirements, getting sewer in and out of the units. But again, over 25% of the site will remain, undisturbed.
You also have street tree plantings there.
Right, and then once we get done, we're obligated to come back in and provide street plantings as well. And then each of the units will also
And
be
what is,
landscaped.
what does that include, street planting?
Well, we have to plant a tree, a minimum size, I believe, in the code is 2.5 inches, the 3-inch caliber tree. And then they have to be a minimum of 40 feet apart. Or I should say maximum, 40 feet apart.
Is this a wooded area?
Yes.
It is.
Is it large trees?
There's large trees there?
Large?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some.
What are we saving?
We're saving 26% of the site.
26% of the site.
Which 26%?
Which large trees are you gonna preserve?
Yeah.
Everything inside this green area, all along this perimeter, and then along this perimeter.
Can you show them, so you know the perimeter we'll be speaking of, because speaking to us, we understand.
Mrs. Quinn, he's gonna show you the outline.
Well, I
No, I already saw that.
The outside of the green he's showing, as well as the lighter green. Right, the lighter green, Steve is saying, is going to be preserved.
This will be preserved all around the perimeter.
What are you gonna save on the inside of that perimeter?
Two areas, one area along South Church Street, that'll be approximately 50 feet in depth, and then an area inside the loop as well.
All right, if there are any big trees there, can we save them? In other words, you're just gonna come in and clean that whole area out with X amount of lots on the road. If there are any big trees in the back.
No, I
or the
mean,
front
you know,
yard, can we
we're
save
pretty
them?
sensitive, you know, I consider myself somebody that likes trees. My client is a very sophisticated developer, we understand the value of trees. So we're gonna do our best to keep whatever we can. I mean, aesthetics are key to us and to the success of this project. It's critical because, you know, given the current market, I mean, one of the attractive things of this site is that you can develop it in a very aesthetic and pleasing way, and that's the goal of my client, to be a successful project.
Any comments, board members?
Bob Quinn again.
Mr. Quinn.
Approximate square footage of the houses that you're planning to put in?
Right now, it looks, we're gearing
Now your
towards,
name for the record,
Michael Walker, gearing towards 2,200 to 2,500 square feet, two-story colonial style,
Two-car garage, is that?
two-car garage, correct.
Thank you.
Your name, please?
Andrea Serino, 4 Chester Road. Is the development from the builder, is this all planned and laid out? Do they come in and build all the houses and then they go for sale? Or is it one by one as the lots go up for sale and people, you know, purchase? And approximate time when you expect to start, like if this gets approved, would it be in the fall?
Well, I'm going to answer your question, but I just want to back up half a step. I don't know, for those of you in the neighborhood, you may have noticed a house that was being built on Parkway, nice little colonial, very nice, very attractive, very small, very economic, but very attractive and very well detailed in the interior. That house was 1,800 square feet.
Well, it was 1,700 plus a finished basement, 600.
Okay,
So
so
2,200.
about 2,200 square feet. Mike was involved in the construction of that, because they built that house as the idea house to see what the market wants here. You know, they met with many realtors, they've had a lot of people come in, from the public, potential buyers, to see what the market really was demanding. And they were contemplating using that as a model, but then decided to sell it. I think they decided that at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and had 2 offers full price before 5 o'clock that same very afternoon. It's a quality built house. It's the type of product that people are looking for. That's the type of product they put out. Now, to answer your question on time-wise, obviously it's going to be dependent on market absorption, but hopefully this will be built out in 2 years.
I would say 2 years, but we still have to get the other required permits. So
Yeah, I mean,
this is a year and a half away from starting.
Yeah, so this is the first step of the first big step we've taken in the approval process. But like I said earlier, we've got to get preliminary approval from this board. At that time, that allows us to go to the outside agencies, get the health department approval for the water distribution system extension, and then also realty subdivision, which is an approval that happens kind of after that by the health department, and we also still have to go to the DEC. So it's going to take a while to get to the point where you can put a shovel in the ground. But hopefully, once you reach that point, that it would probably take 2 to 3 years to build out.
Steve, if I may. Sorry, go ahead, sir.
Just real quick, because I don't know, the lady here asked, Dan Tuigan, are you going to spec build the homes, or are you going to build the homes as the lots sell, once everything's ready to go?
We anticipate that we would build a model on site and then base future construction based on sales.
On sales of the lots?
Correct. No, of the homes.
Okay.
We're not selling individual lots, we're going to build the homes.
So if somebody comes in interested with the home, but then they go pick their lot, then you build it once they pick their lot? You know, you're gonna have the lots all flagged out?
Yeah, that would be correct, yes, but they would have to select from our homes. We would not build somebody
Yeah,
else's model.
that's what I meant, yeah.
Correct.
But you're not gonna spec build the 18 homes all at
No.
once? And then
No,
sell
and the
it?
infrastructure
Absolutely
would
not.
likely go in one, phase one. It's, it's a small amount of infrastructure, so that would go in, up to a point, and then they could at least start to market at that time.
Are there any other comments? Yes, sir.
If anybody else has, I'll wait till.
There's no one else, it's you, but
If I understand this
can I have
correct,
your name for the
oh, I'm
record?
sorry, Joel Markowitz, village
Joel.
resident. If I understand this correctly, Steve, this is all within the village.
Correct.
Maybe you could explain why it's necessary to have County Department of Health clearance on the water and sewer extensions.
It's state law. Whenever you have a municipal, well, first of all, there's two, I forgot another agency also, because we actually are within 500 feet of a municipal boundary, so we're subject to the 239 review by the Orange County Planning Department. Which do we get comments from? Local, that's what I like to hear. So we have them. Then we also have the health department. The health department regulates this water distribution. This is a municipal extension because we're extending a municipal line for public use and consumption. So under state law, that has to be reviewed by the local health department. There's also this thing that if you have more than five lots, something. Well, anyway, there's the realty subdivision law also kicks in here, and that's again another local health department review. The regulator for sewer is the DEC. So it's just like water. If you're physically extending a collection system, then that municipal extension has to be reviewed by that agency.
There's no additional negotiation for these that's required with the village then?
Well, we
Village per
have
se.
hookup fees
Right.
and rec fees and
All part of the code, but there's
Yeah.
no additional negotiation for it. It's all governed under state and local law.
Any other comments, Mr. Court?
I'm sorry, one more. I'm assuming that before all the site improvements would be done before any of the lots could be cleared. Is that accurate? That, like, the steps you're talking about around Mr. Tui's property, that would all be done prior to any of the lots being cleared?
Will the infrastructure be done before the houses are
Where,
built? Is that what you're asking?
If I could answer,
Yeah.
I'm the village engineer, there'll be a construction phasing plan that they have not submitted just yet, but there'll be a construction phasing plan where we'll take into account what needs to be done first, where the impacts are and how they're going to be addressed. So I would imagine that storm drainage is going to be one of the first things that has to be accommodated.
Okay,
As part
that's
of
what I meant.
Yeah.
Make sure those were in place before any of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
lots. Okay, thank you.
I have a
Mrs.
question about, will there be underground electric?
yes,
Okay, because you mentioned light pole, but
yes. All the electric will be underground. All utilities will be underground.
Any other comments from the public? Board members?
I have a question. In reference to building, as you just mentioned, is reference to building the first model home. We're not clearing the land for prospective homes. We're going to leave the land as it is. So we're not going to do a clearing of trees with the idea of that. We're not going to show an empty lot, are we? Are we going to leave the vegetation the way it is until you sell the lot? Or we're going to clear the whole?
We would clear all the critical areas. You'd have to clear the house pad areas, the areas for driveways, et cetera. So a majority of the clearing would have to be done up front to get the roads in, to get the drainage in, the detention basin.
So you plan on putting that all in first before you can build a home?
That's correct.
The sidewalks, like you
Right.
say, all the drainage?
Correct. Get everything stabilized.
And they'll just have
and
an
then-
empty lot there with an empty lot with no house with a sidewalk in front of it, get everything, all the
Correct.
utilities in place for
Correct,
the building.
correct.
And one of the things is it's a small site. So to really install all the infrastructure, you kind of have to clear, you have to grade, you have to get things to the catch basins, you have to get all that kind of works. All the ankle bone's connected to the knee bone, so a lot of that's got to get done right up front.
comments from
We're
the
not
board
gonna,
members?
we're not gonna just put one sidewalk in, we're gonna do all the sidewalks.
Selection, the placing of the homes. Obviously, we don't want the same home, one after the other after the other. So, we're going to control that to, as best as possible.
I think there's a requirement in the village code as well that prohibits that cookie cutter. I think we're gonna have to see what houses are gonna go on what lots, and, so we have a difference of architecture through the site. And we'll get to that when we get into the final plan. So I don't think they can put the same house next to its mirror image, so to speak. So we can talk about that later, Dominic. But we do have in the code the ability to look at the architectures to make sure that there's a variety in the buildings.
Mrs. Quinn?
Will there be a sidewalk on the South Church Street, part of the property?
Our sidewalk is, and again, we reviewed this with the board, there's gonna be a perimeter sidewalk for the interior, and it's gonna come up to South Church Street and stop.
So there's no way that anybody then has to walk on the street to get to the sidewalk that's available on South Church Street?
There'll be a sidewalk extended to South Church Street sidewalk from this project. Correct?
Well, there's no sidewalk on that side.
There's no sidewalk there.
Didn't we ask for a sidewalk?
There's no sidewalks,
There's nowhere for it to go.
there's no sidewalks.
Are we bringing one out to it?
We're bringing one out to the street, so
Yes.
if and when there's a
There is
capital project, that they'll be able to connect to this.
Correct.
Right now, you have to walk down the street.
Which is very unsafe,
Any other comments?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
which is very unsafe.
Which is very, is there any sidewalk there? No, not
No.
right, no. Okay, so not in front of your lots, or
The last,
Mr. Toomey's lots, or, there's no sidewalk there, right?
there's a sidewalk to our house, but not, and I think there's a sidewalk in front of the apartments, but not on that side of the, not on the south side of the street at all.
Yes, young lady.
Serena, and again, just to note with that this comes on a crest of the hill there, which is very dangerous. There's no sidewalk, people come to the crest, right now you have the wild animals, but it's just, there's quite a bit of a blind spot there, where the entrance is going to be put in.
Where do people walk on South Church Street?
Yes.
So.
But on the other side.
But on the other side where the cemetery is, or?
On both sides.
On both sides.
There's no sidewalk.
There's no sidewalks at all.
It goes up to the end of where the garden apartments end and the cemetery starts, that's where the sidewalk ends on the,
Where the cemetery starts?
yeah, on
Okay.
the cemetery side of the street. And then, like I said, that is a blind spot, and there's a bus stop there, because my daughter gets on the bus there. And there have been plenty of times coming from Chester, that's a blind hill where the bus stop is back, they come flying up over there. It's supposed to be 30 miles an hour, the speed limit is posted right there at the cemetery. Very rarely do you see a car coming up that way doing 30. There have been many times that brakes have been locked up because the school bus is sitting right there, picking up or dropping off kids.
Where does the school bus stop?
Right at the corner where the garden apartments
Yes.
are, there's like, I guess their private road in, that's the bus stop right there.
For everybody
Or,
across
well,
the
the
street?
garden apartments
both
at my
sides?
daughter, right there. There's one stop down also, and right in front of where Steeple Hill comes out onto South Church Street. There's a bus stop there, and then the one, right there where the garden apartments start.
So I have another question, I don't know if Mr. Tully or Mr. Esposito answers this, about the DEC. What is required of you to satisfy the DEC permits
But
and
it's not-
Requirements?
It's stormwater?
For the
Right.
wetland, no, for the wet area?
Well, there's a couple of things.
Yeah.
There's compliance under the stormwater regulations, with air slip and the sediment erosion control plan, which has been prepared as being under review by Lankenfeld.
So you have that already?
We also
Got it today.
we also have to, our project engineer and Art's office back and forth on some of the I'll say, newer methods of stormwater management that the current regs
The new
require.
regs, yeah.
So, it's the learning experience, based on the learning experience here. So that, we're working through those. The other, besides stormwater, is sewer. And it's not a permit, it's a planned review. And as I explained to the gentleman, it's just like the water extension, the sewer extension is regulated by the DEC. So once we get to preliminary, we've got to submit those plans to them for their review, because they're the regulator of the collection system. But it's not a permit, it's a plan review.
Did you have anything to add to that at this point?
No.
No.
No, it's pretty early in the process in terms of storm drainage, so we've, as I said, we just got something today, and we'll have to take a look at it.
There's nothing over and above because of that wet area there? That really
Well,
requires-
we have, as I said, there's, if you look at this line right here, this is the core line, all right? And, we're subject to any federal regulations that pertain to federally regulated wetlands.
But the first...
Has this
the
been
first-
tagged yet?
Excuse me?
Has this been tagged?
We've delineated it ourselves, and then we're scheduled, I think, on
Last week of May.
last week in May.
Army Corps of
We'll
Engineers.
be out, yeah. So,
But right now, Elaine, the first course of action in any development is avoidance. That's what the DEC, the Corps wants. So what they're basically doing is avoiding the wetlands. So wherever that line happens to be finally delineated, they're proposing to stay out of it. So there's no disturbance proposed in the wetlands. And then the stormwater management regulations require mitigation to the stormwater runoff, not only for flow, but also for quality issues, temperature and nutrients and things along those lines. So that's what we're reviewing to make sure that they're in compliance with the new DEC codes.
Any other comments?
Just one quick one, it may sound off the wall, but
Nothing's off the wall, Dan.
the catch basin and all, and you showed me where the water's gonna run into, and then it's gonna go to that lot in between Mrs. Gott's house and then the corner house. Now, I know a lot of times, water just sits there throughout the summer, becomes stagnant and starts smelling. I mean, is anything, and it becomes mosquito haven, you know, is
in
any,
this area right
that
here?
area there, yeah. I
Well,
mean,
two things. One is, this is also we're not, as Mr. Tully said, this is the federally regulated wetlands, and we are avoiding those. But there's a culvert pipe here that's, as you probably know, is all silted in, and there's a lot of debris.
Yeah.
We're gonna clean that out, and some of that will get that, because what that does is it's raised the invert of that culvert. If we can lower that thing, a foot or half a foot or however much stuff's in there, we'll get that much more water out
so
of it.
it shouldn't be that much standing
Should not-
water or
right.
stagnant
But
water
there'll be
as the
less.
summer goes on.
Right, there'll be
Let
less.
the smell, all right, mosquitoes, mosquitoes.
But those are our wetlands, so we have
Yeah.
to.
I mean, don't expect
Miracles.
it's going to be very different than what you see now.
Yeah.
The water will flow a little bit better, but it's a low-lying area, and it's a
Mhm.
wetland area.
Any other comments? We're going to extend this public hearing to
May
May,
24th.
what is it, May 24th at 7:30. Folks, if you want to come to the next meeting, please come. Okay?
Will there be anything further at that point?
Yes.
Probably
You will
will
not
be.
get another mailing, there
We
will be.
won't get another mailing,
Notice
but
in the paper.
it'll be in the paper.
More discussion.
There will be more information available?
More
There'll be
discussion.
more discussion.
Okay.
The
Thank you.
the plans may be further advanced too in regards to some of the technical issues of water, sewer, drainage, but the layout and what you see now is probably going to be very similar, if not the same.
Thank you.
That date is May 24th, 7:30. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Quite well. Next on the agenda is Inspire CP Center. Oh, yeah.
Steve,
Steve, you may not run off.
yeah, we might.
I just want to cover one thing.
Yeah.
I'm cutting ahead.
No, you have enough time.
Seniority.
Yeah. Mike? Or that Mike is Art here? You need him, he's not here. We have 37 comments. When did he receive them?
Well, those were submitted.
On April 12th. You have his comments?
The April 12th submission.
Yes, from back,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we're still, you know, P&P.
You're still working on it?
Kelly's still
Okay,
doing
fine.
everything, so,
All right.
you know, we.
Yeah, the plans have not been changed since April. So, where are we? March.
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 Sorry.
Did you
No.
do comments?
What's the date on that?
after-
Yes,
Yeah,
no.
see, I have March comments here.
Those are the latest comments.
Oh, okay, okay.
Because I think, Elaine, they were waiting to get comments from the public hearing and then do all the changes and revisions at one time.
But that, my response letters that you have
Yeah.
are our responses and revisions that we've made to the
From,
plan set that we have right now.
Okay,
Right.
all right.
okay.
So I have one more question, suggestion, though, in regard to the comments, the public comments about the sidewalks and the crest and the school bus. Do you know anybody in the school district that you might?
Not really.
It's not mine anymore.
No, does anyone in
Wow.
the school district know you?
Does the term lame duck mean anything?
Yes, but.
Why are you asking that?
I'm asking that because many times the school district would, likes
Be
to know
notified.
about development, that they're
Yeah, I
needing
can
children
talk to Don
and to
about it.
have the transportation person, kind of map out the possible location for the bus stops
Yeah,
and
and I'll
the
give-
safety
I'll
issue
set a
there
set of plans
that's
together.
been raised at the hearing, okay?
A letter should be sent to him because,
Well,
how many homes,
Yeah.
additional children and so forth, they should be aware.
Okay.
I know
Might as
you
well
always
do-
wanted to know that.
Lame ducks can do that, right?
We can do
Yeah.
that. With a little bit of a limp.
Okay, thank you.
Hey,
Now Inspire CP.
hi.
Neighbor.
Representing-
Last time I was here, you were putting 4 parking spots.
That's
And I
right.
did it last year.
Oh, you
Do
did?
you want
Fodro,
me to lead on
do we have
to
your
this?
name for the record?
Introduce yourself for the record.
I'm Ed Fodro, Vice President, Inspire, the CP Center.
Ed?
So anyway, yeah, we put the 4 spots in this.
I saw that.
It was great.
Looks nice.
It helps, As the population grows.
So now,
Now what are you looking to do?
At the front of the school entrance, and it's way back from the road, 200-300 feet or so. At the front entrance of the school, I would like to just put an awning out that covers the front entrance and the sidewalk, so that the children getting off the bus, and they understand that they're handicapped and wheelchaired and things, that I can provide them some protection from the elements when they're getting off the bus. It'll be very nice looking, and I've already bid it out, it's $15,000, so.
You're asking me for 50, right?
Yeah, you got my mailing?
I have.
Yeah. So anyway, I marked it in yellow where I want to put the awning, and that's it. Also,
what color?
blue,
Oh, no, it's-
Yellow.
not blue, like
Blue.
inspired color.
Like this,
Inspires color.
okay.
And also for a shed, I made another little dot where I like to put a shed. That's because I've asked, I don't know if I'm getting it, but I want to get a little tractor with a snow blower on it. Because I'm 58, and 19 years of shoveling them walks is killing me.
Where's the dot, Ed?
Right next to the fence, it's on the same place right there.
Oh, this is,
Yeah, I see it right there.
You know, 10 by 10 shed, But I don't want to go put a shed up without permission to do it.
Very expensive to the point that it's.
You put that in front of the building?
No, but the school, see the school, and then I have the side of the school and this right here, it's gonna be nestled in here. You really don't see it, it's really behind where that other outbuilding
Okay,
is. It's pretty tucked away in there.
You want to put it back here somewhere?
No,
Yeah, right.
so because it goes like this,
What does it?
yeah. No, when we did the site right there, they put in quite the drainage.
this is gonna be attached to the building, is it freestanding?
Freestanding.
Freestanding awning.
Oh, no, the awning, no, like that.
Let's stay with the awning first, then go to the shed.
Okay,
All right? Well, awning is attached to the building,
yeah.
and is this like a walkway coming out?
The existing door right now has little porch structure that goes out approximately 8 feet, an overhang. I want to come off of it, off to the sidewalk 5 feet, and then go about 20 feet or so each direction.
Not exceeding the sidewalk, but.
Not at all. In fact, staying a little bit back from it, because I'm worried about bus mirrors.
So this is already pre-existing, this little
Yeah.
square
Yes,
front
sir.
here?
Yes, sir.
So you just want to put it along the curb?
Yes, sir.
You're worried about
Have you
what?
reviewed this?
I have no comments.
School
Okay,
bus
no
mirrors.
comments. Mike?
Mirrors.
And, uh,
It's a particular shed, but it's a new structure, so it needs site plan review, but
It's a 10 by 10, is it a portable shed?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Does the height exceed 15 feet?
120.
The height?
The shed?
I know, probably, I don't know.
Ed,
Feet.
he doesn't need the approval, you do. He asked the question, let's get on it, buddy.
Yeah,
It-
about
it-
8 feet.
It's 8 feet?
Like you said, regular shed you have in your backyard.
The only reason I mention that is because under accessory structure, 15 feet is your maximum height, and else require zoning board.
So he's within.
I would
it.
say 8, 10 feet. I don't know what a shed
So
is.
does he get a permit for that shed? He has to get a permit for that shed.
He has to get a permit for that shed, I'm just bringing it to the light that if it's more than 15
15
feet,
feet,
it's
gotta
going
go
to
to
require
ZBA.
zoning board approval.
Right.
Won't be.
Won't be.
It's 14
I
and a half.
don't think about it.
Now, any comments from the board members on the awning and on the shed? Mike,
this is not the ADD, I don't think, right?
no,
So it's just site plan. You can waive a public hearing. It's a type 2 action under secret. I don't think it needs a referral to the Orange County Planning Department. I don't think it's within 500 feet of anything. We would need an anticipated completion date declared, but you can take action.
we can't take action on this.
Yeah.
Board members, you want to act on this evening?
Make that motion.
Sure.
Okay.
When are you going to complete it?
Give me a year.
The awning will be completed by June 30th, the shed following before the end of the year.
Just like the parking places?
Do you want a year?
You want more time?
20 years.
No. June, this June. I have to have.
Yeah, we need a
You
completion
have to
date.
have the awning, why?
Because it's,
You have a lot of
Yeah.
confidence in this board then, I see.
no.
You want to give me some,
April
give me some
26th,
leeway.
Too many questions.
There you go.
1 year, just giving you a year to complete.
1 year to complete.
April 26, 2012.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Give me some leeway.
Yes, sir.
No, it's not about.
Now, we got to vote on waiving the public,
Yes, well, you can do that in the same, well, yes, go ahead, vote on it separately, so we're all listening.
we're going to waive on a public hearing, type 2 action.
I make that motion.
We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, on this application, do we have a motion to approve it?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very, very much.
Very well.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thanks for putting those parking spaces
We can park there anytime after 4 o'clock.
He doesn't know what I live.
Good night. Good night, thank you very much.
I know. Yeah, some of their planning is
in.
happening.
Number 3 on the agenda, Rocco Roma site plan change of use.
Anybody here from Markowitz?
I think, yeah.
Representing Rocco Roma,
Thomas Mastrotoni.
Thomas? Thomas, what are you looking to do?
We're looking to put in a stove with a maple system, all required system for a commercial stove.
You don't have a stove?
No, we've
Teddy.
been using a local hardware kitchen.
It's here, Ted.
No problem.
But we do everything in-house, prepping.
Yeah.
Mr. Mastrotoni first came before this board to rent a spot from one of your previous board members, Mr. Pikel.
Right.
And his occupancy was going to be for a wholesale grocer. Having a stove and a commercial kitchen installed is going to be what I would consider a change of use. Okay? So I brought it before this board for your approval. What he's looking to do, and I don't mean to speak for Mr. Mastrotoni because I don't need to, he sends his mother in my office most times.
Ah, that's
Lovely
a smart,
woman.
now that's a
Said
smart
the big
man.
guy said.
Yeah.
the way that they're trying to explain it to me is based on the one in Middletown, what's the name of it?
Delicious.
Yeah, the one, Goshen
Oh,
Avenue?
Famous Deli?
Yeah.
The one on Goshen
Yeah,
Avenue in the
okay.
Quaker Plaza, yeah.
When you
Yes,
walk in there and they
that-
give you a piece of
Yeah.
something, because they've already cooked it, here, try this, and you walk out.
It's great, nice.
Yeah, and that's what he's looking to do. It's a change of use, though, basically.
He's gonna give us all free food? Is that?
Only got a month.
He's on camera, so.
Right down, until you get the approval.
Let's see how it ends.
So you coming from the board for, I'm sorry.
Continue on,
I'm sorry,
Theodore.
I'm sorry.
The commercial kitchen, though, basically is a change of use from when he first originally appeared before this board for, was a wholesale grocer. It's gonna be different than that now. They're certainly gonna attract the public, but it's gonna be cooked food or prepped food as well. Therefore, I made the decision to bring it before the board to make a collective decision.
Correct. And so this commercial kitchen is going to have to conform to the building code, Ansel system, special sinks, dishwasher.
Health department, he's
Health
on board with
requirements.
all of that. Before you can get
Okay.
started with that, he's gonna need this board's blessing, and then we'll kick the tires on that.
What's the zoning gonna change to?
The zoning's not gonna change at all, it's his use.
His use, excuse me.
Are you gonna have sit-down tables for people to eat, or?
Not right now, maybe in the future.
Is
Then
that,
you come back again.
Yeah,
You gotta come back again.
So this will be takeout and catering,
well, mostly here.
okay? And takeout.
Yeah.
If, thanks for bringing that up, though, while
What's that?
while we're all here talking about this. If it ever comes to a sit-down type of thing,
Then
we're
come back.
gonna reappear here again.
you'd have to show the tables, how many,
You'd have to show a layout.
you have to do table to table to the parking like we did, right, for
Like we've done
restaurant.
for everyone
For
else.
for everyone that's coming from
Right.
us. Yes.
Okay. Can you put tables outside, Ted? Now?
He's not asking to put tables
I'm
outside.
asking, no.
No.
No seating at all, inside or outside. But I'm just asking that.
He's looking for a kitchen to pre-cook food.
No, I understand that. I wanted to make sure that no seating included, not only inside, but also included outside. Right.
Okay, so this.
So
this,
what would you
um,
say?
I have a question, if you put a park bench outside, let's just follow.
There's no seniority here.
I'm
I
sorry.
You
respect.
have to have respect for your elders, you know.
No, it's not me who wants to speak.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Elaine wants to
Go
speak.
ahead, Elaine, I'm sorry.
She started.
In that case, he'll yield.
Go ahead, exactly, I know better.
Did I cut you off?
You cut me off, he cut me off.
Oh.
You have the floor, dear. You have the floor, Elaine.
Now, this-
No one's gonna
this-
cut you off.
This plan that's here
I'd be
is
cut
just
off.
for our edification to see your site, because
Yeah.
this says lot line change. You're not doing anything like that, that's why I was confused.
That's what I looked at and thought
That's
this
what I
is.
said, too.
Okay, all right.
That was the original plan that he used just for this submittal.
Oh, okay.
It has nothing to do with the lot itself, it's the interior part of the building. It's a change of use for his use as a commercial wholesale grocer. He's looking to change that use.
So Michael, so what are the requirements procedurally for us to change, approve
Well,
a
it's
change
an
of
allowable use.
Okay.
Generally, I have to go back how we looked at that, we say that if it's in the, is this a non-compliant building? I'm trying to remember.
No, it's in the CS district,
Right,
right?
and the building complies, so the use is allowed. Technically, it's a site plan if it's a new one, but as you did a moment ago, you could grant site plan approval. Wait,
Or
is
waive.
there anything that the county has to hear about?
No. There's no county roads there. It's
There's
village
county
roads on the inside. What road is that? Leading into the seniors?
Railroad Avenue.
Railroad.
Very good. Railroad Avenue.
Okay, so what do we have to do
You can
procedurally?
grant site plan approval to allow the addition of the kitchen and, I guess we're calling it food service, to be added to the
To the use?
wholesale food business.
Wholesale retail use.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, we have, okay. Are there any other comments, board members?
I have a question, going up.
You have the floor.
Thank you, thank you. Let's just follow and say, if he came outside and put a table and chairs outside, he's no longer conforming, but he's just outside. Let's just say if he goes out there with like a picnic table.
I think his mother
Right, 'cause
should
that-
have a table outside, right?
Right, if you had a picnic table outside, is that frowned upon? And he's not sitting.
Once you become a restaurant, you got a whole bunch of other requirements in terms of parking and stuff, and I think.
So he would have to come back, like what he was saying, to say how many tables and chairs, the parking spaces and all that stuff, right? You come in front of the board again.
Yeah.
I pay more attention to the interior layout,
Right.
fire, exit, and egress, that's my big thing. If people are outside, I tend not to worry too much, if something bad happens, they're already outside. So if you guys would like to give them permission to have a table outside, because they probably will anyway, I'm sure that they would appreciate that.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that he's not looking for interiors, I'm speaking out of terms, I don't know what you're looking for.
Some people do come and they want to sit outside.
If they want to sit outside, because if he's cooking something, and you want to sit, I'm not saying inside the building. So if you want to put a table and chairs outside for someone to sit down and have a sandwich, as Steve Deli does, and a handful of other people do, at a cafe, I mean, I don't want to throw around names, but he could do that as well, as long as he's not inside the buildings, because he doesn't have that, you don't have the green light from us to do that.
What are you looking at me for?
I'm just saying, he can't serve food inside the space and have seating, and we have to do table to table. But considering outside, to have a picnic table, or a table similar to what you're sitting on, that's fine.
There are several different establishments in the village that have a table or two outside, that probably don't, are not listed on your approved site plans.
Right.
It's not heavily overly enforced, and I can tell you why. Because I'm not worried about people sitting in a sandwich outside. If something bad happens, they're already outside.
But they're already restaurants.
Okay.
They're already existing
They're
restaurants.
already food service places.
That's
But
why
I
he asked the
completely
question.
agree with what you're saying.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Absolutely.
Right, we tie his hands to put the table outside, see all the room out there. If you wanted to, just asking the board.
But if we're gonna tie his hands, we're gonna go out and tie everyone else's
Right.
hands.
Board members?
But I asked that, that's why I asked the question before. The ones that you're speaking about are already established restaurants. That's their use. They can have tables inside and maybe tables outside.
No, not maybe table outside.
If I could
Go ahead.
suggest,
Okay.
what you have before you tonight is an application just to cook inside. Why don't you just stick with that?
Yes, sir.
All right, and then when he
Okay.
does in the future, let him deal with Ted on that as far as
Okay.
enforcement is concerned.
I have no problem with
Yeah.
that, but I asked the question
Yeah,
before.
and you're right, you're absolutely right.
You're right.
You're
And I
absolutely
was
right.
told one thing, now we're changing it a little
No, I
bit.
think-
I have no problem with putting, he wants to put 2 or 3, he's got plenty of room outside.
Yeah.
But he's got more room outside to put picnic tables than
Anybody.
the tables sitting on the walkway on West Main Street.
Right.
I got a problem with those, okay? Because you can't walk by there, okay? So you worry about the people getting out of the building in case there's a fire, but we're not concerned too much about people being able to walk on the sidewalk. Okay? So I don't have a problem with them putting picnic tables outside.
We're going to address strictly the cooking for retail on the interior of the building. Now, Mike, do we have to,
Again, it's not in the ADD district, it doesn't have to go to Orange County Planning, it's a type 2 under secret, you can waive the hearing, you can declare an anticipated completion date, that I would suggest is April 26, 2012. I think.
Tom is very agreeable.
Performance standards.
You're working on it.
Yes, right there.
Yes.
all right, board members, we have to waive a public hearing. We have a motion.
Make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we have a motion to grant the use of a commercial kitchen in a retail location at this site.
Make that motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Very good. All those in favor?
Trying to remember what's
Aye.
wrong.
Mix it.
Aye.
All set, Tom?
Thank you.
Next on the agenda,
Got that one.
we have one more, folks. We have a letter from Peter Zach Fowl, and we also have a letter from Steve Reineke, looking for a 6-month extension on the Knolls of Goshen.
Is he here?
No, he's not here. Is this because of the,
This is the
Health
one I'm
department?
disqualified on, I don't know the status of it really, but I assume they're still waiting for their other agency approvals. I think they've gotten the health department to be willing to look at it, right? Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, and it is health department review.
it is?
Yep.
Board members,
How long is the extension? Is it?
for 6 months. Any comments, board members?
Make that motion.
We have a motion for an extension for Knolls of Goshen.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We have minutes, or any comments from the correspondence board members?
Well, you know, I have a question, I don't know if Mr. Tully or Mr. Lewis should answer it, about the bathroom facilities at Salesian. What the heck is going on there? Shouldn't that have been finished by now?
That's this question.
Thanks, Mark. I guess I'm gonna.
And you're one of them?
yeah.
Uh-oh. 'Cause
They had
that-
their grant extended, I think, longer than I've ever heard any municipality having their grant extended before.
Really?
And basically because they couldn't either get their volunteers in line.
It's a manpower
things in
issue?
order. Yeah.
Um,
I will say this, that I have gone and inspected on several occasions from the footings on up. It's being built in accordance to code. It's being built in accordance to handicap accessibility requirements. And it's almost done, and I hope that we have a big grand opening for those restrooms.
A grand opening for the restroom.
You'll get the
So it's building, right then?
Yes.
Who's gonna get the opportunity to use it first?
You, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, of course.
So there's not a problem with the hookup for the sewer or anything
That's all
like
been
that?
done?
Yeah, that's all done.
All
And
done.
that part's all done,
What is-
okay,
what
because
is
from
hooked up?
afar, it looks like there's stuff with the trench.
That's the electric.
That's the electric,
That's the electrician.
and there's the electrician.
Thanks.
So we're
No problem.
speaking to the source.
Well, I'm no longer involved in the electrical end of that. They have another guy coming to finish off the line. We just dug the trench for that, another guy's picking it up. The contractor who did the park is doing it, I'm not really sure who the contractor is. We just volunteered a couple of weekends and we dug the trench. So now they're just finishing it off to bring the electric to the building, getting all the fixtures and all of that nature. Last time I heard, but that's where they're at.
Okay, because I seem to remember that was one of the promises that was made, that it wasn't gonna be left undone indefinitely. Whoever the
Right.
applicant was, I remember him there, standing there,
Kevin.
Kevin.
So we should speak to him and push him to close any holes. Any holes? Open holes?
I've had a couple closed already. It does take a little prodding from time to time, and it's been a long process because of volunteer help. But I will heed that and look into that.
Thank you. Okay.
Any other comments, board members? We have minutes to review.
To get out of here. Mike, you're still my hero tonight. Yep. Mike, and a different thing.
You know, Sue, there was one question I had about
It wasn't yours though.
the design district review. I will find it in a minute.
I just gave my only copy to Jerry, so.
Pardon me?
I just gave my only copy to Jerry, so now.
Oh, okay,
I
all right.
don't know what you're
Let
saying.
me,
What
let me
is it?
just find it here.
You want
Wait a
that?
second, there's a question
If
about
the
the,
world was perfect, Mike.
oh, I know I can't find it because I'm looking at ZBA minutes. Here it is. I should have marked this up, okay. Okay, just on page 6, where it says here, it would be the architect. Just add the architect there? Yeah, yeah. On page 6, just add the word architect there. Which, I don't even know who it is at this point, if there's been a appointment. Right there, yeah.
Go back to that. Who is it now?
That's what I, yeah. Does anybody know, in the reorganization of the village personnel, has the architect changed?
Yes.
I believe
Yes.
it has.
Yes,
Back
Is
to
it?
yes.
It's
well enough.
Okay.
Any other comments, board members? On the March minutes? We have a motion to accept March minutes. 2 tonight. Hit it again.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. As amended. Is there a second? A little second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any other comments, board members? We have a motion to close this meeting. We have a motion to close the meeting.
Wait a second, there's just some correspondence.
Let's reopen the meeting. We didn't vote on it. Correspondence?
What's going on, we have some correspondence about Kelly Jeans, and I think there were some comments from the architect, right, about the new design, because of the new addition?
There's no new addition.
There's no new addition.
Just went up higher, right, Ted?
It's just,
No.
It was on the plans, they thought it wasn't at first.
it's a virtual experience, and the
It's
thing that's going on.
what they came in for was to
Um,
restore everything that was there, just like I
Yeah.
explained last month.
Right, right.
I tried to have long meetings with the architect and the design professional and said that he might want to review our files upstairs, and they thought they might be able to restore the building, which is fine. They're
Yeah, I
entitled
remember
to.
all that, yeah.
It turns out that wasn't the case. The walls had to come down, they were going to go into structural failure.
Right.
They're now all reframed and they've all been submitted, the renderings, to your previous architectural review consultant and have been approved twice,
Okay.
okay?
So that.
So the walls are all being redone, brand new. New truss system, 64-foot trusses.
They put it up on the windiest Sunday I've ever seen.
Isn't that amazing?
Whoa!
What was that? Maybe
Those things are flying around.
We actually had a state police escort to come here at 6 o'clock in the morning to get that in here. But,
Wow.
Yeah.
So the stuff that I was reading from Mr. Farr is old hat.
Yes.
Well, it actually stands.
It's old hat, but
Yeah.
it's current as, that's how it will be reflected on the building.
If there's any more review, we'll go to
If you're looking at those correspondence that speaks to the return windows,
Yeah,
are you looking at
that's
that?
what I'm looking
If you
at.
look at the building,
Yeah,
as you're driving home tonight,
Right.
you'll see
they,
those windows are there.
okay, all right.
Is it higher, Ted, or is that just, it's the same height there?
It's basically the same as what was there before.
It's the same building, except it's not gonna fall down, at least until after I retire.
It looks a lot bigger, right?
It's taller.
It looks a lot bigger.
I think the other, I think it's basically the same footprint. They had to put a foundation wall in the back, it was maybe a little bit bigger there.
The wall in the back was set on 3 piers. The other 3 walls were on a conventional footing and foundation system. So what they did was the rear wall and married it to the rest of the foundation to make it a conventional, footing and foundation system. It's gonna be structurally sound and it should be a nice place to eat.
Be safer than what it was.
I guarantee it.
You have
So
to
just
eat
so,
that.
just so I'm clear, when was the last time?
Tables outside,
Pete
yes.
Apple did the-
All four sides now.
Say it again.
Just,
Come on.
just so I'm clear, when was the last time Mr. App looked at the plan
At these plans?
for Kelly Jeans?
He hasn't looked at it.
I don't think he ever reviewed them.
No, I guess I missed him. Didn't you just say that
It's the
the
far
new architect?
If something further changes, it would go
If
back.
there's
to
any
that.
further changes to that building from what's
Yeah.
approved right now, it will be forwarded to Mr. App and his
Okay.
reviewer.
Okay, gotcha.
Is there anything else, folks?
Make a motion, we close this meeting?
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We're on a run tonight.
And
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so now I got a fun story.
Take care, folks. It comes early.
Thank you.
You can come any night. You're welcome to come.